So you could do a little bit of that in Abu Dhabi, more so in the winter. But as you move through in closer and closer into kind of competition mode, it does still become challenging, but less physical, because when you're in the season, it is more physical challenge wise anyway. So you have to get a bit of a kind of you get a real feel for where people are at. So you wouldn't at the moment. We got training tomorrow, and we've got a T20 game on Wednesday night. We wouldn't choose to have that high physical challenge tomorrow, to give an example. But we might choose to have a high decision-making challenge. For instance, we'd say to the bowlers, you have to defend that side of the field. The wind is going that way. That's a short boundary. So get your head around it. You've got 2 minutes to come up with a plan, have a chat with your bowling partner, come up with a plan, explain the reasoning for your plan, and then it's about executing it. So we would choose that sort of challenge as opposed to a physical challenge, if that gives a good enough example of the kind of transitional bit.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, fascinating stuff. In terms of success, so you talked about success a little bit earlier there. How you've got a match, you say, on Wednesday. What do you think the response of a bowler would be if you were asking them what success would be to them on the Wednesday evening match?
What do I think the response would be? Well, ultimately, it's the win against a good Lancashire team at home. So that would be overall what success looks like. And then, okay, well, what's going to help us do that? What happened in the last game? What did we take from the review? Okay, to give an example, we need to take more wickets in the power play. So how do we do that? What's the wicket going to be? What do we know about our opponents? Where can you shut batters down from hitting boundaries, and where can you apply pressure to build pressure to take their wickets, to make them take risks? So it would be about identifying our opponent's strengths and weaknesses, where are the opportunities? And then it would always come back to us. So what are the things that we do really well against any opposition? It's it's prep well, it's taking time out of the game, because the T20 games, they move pretty quickly, and always taking those opportunities to take those 5 seconds if you need to bounce off one of your teammates. Take time out, slow the game down, slow the world down, slow your mind down, and making sure at the end of your mark, one of the things that we talk about is, even if it's the wrong plan, any plan is better than no plan. Make sure you are crystal clear in what you want from that next ball, because ultimately the simplest form of any game, but particularly what we've got in front of us, T20, is you win the next ball. How are you going to do that? Using what you know you are good at, a strength of yours. And ultimately that would be very simply the process we go through at training tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think that's the key word, isn't it? Process. So really what you've described there is how the vast majority of cricketers, be that the elite cricketer or even the schoolboy, success to them will be winning the match, taking wickets slightly. And then you've broken it down into that word process, essentially.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, can get confused about process.
Yeah, they can, but that's the key to all of it, isn't it? I mean, you would know better than me, but I've been really fortunate to work with some high quality performers on the world stage. And I would say the main difference between those who are consistent high performers and those that are equally as talented, the high performers understand what their current process is and they commit to it. Whereas the talented players, they might be looking to move to the next level without understanding what their process is. And, it could be something as simple as making sure you walk back to your mark in a casual way as opposed to a quick way. That is the process to take, we're talking about seconds here. It might take somebody 3 more seconds to walk back to exactly the same mark. But in those 3 seconds, they've had a chance to review the previous ball. What needs to happen right now? Okay, this needs to happen right. I need to get that guy off strike. How can I get that guy off strike? Okay, I got a big boundary there. I'm going to bowl this ball to get them to hit there, to get them off strike, because I know I've got an opportunity in 3 balls time to get the guy who's on non-striker. And so slow your walk down, work to your process and your timing and your rhythm. Be clear and bang. And I think that is the main. Consistent high performers kind of understand that, and they get to a point quicker than most where they understand what their process is. And it still doesn't guarantee they're going to win the next ball, but they're okay with it because they've stuck with their process.